Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. We are 9 months into the Road to Scratch series. I feel like I've made some major breakthroughs that have helped me shave some strokes off my game. And I've done this without even changing a single thing in my golf swing. So I initially and incorrectly thought that mental game was only reserved for pros or people with perfect swings because I thought, what's the point of working on your mental game when your swing doesn't even look mechanically correct? But recently I realized that by neglecting my mental game, I've actually been holding myself back. And even as a 20 handicap, there are things that I can do and how I can reframe my mind, and it can actually turn me into a better golfer without actually working on any physical attributes. So I'm going to outline some examples later on in this video. And guys, if you're new here, my name is Chonger. I'm an average golfer with the goal of trying to get to scratch. If you aren't already, hit that subscribe button and follow along on this journey with me. I would also like to thank Kashmir Financial for sponsoring the channel, just like how Phil Mickelson had KPMG. I have Kashmir Financial. If you guys are looking for help with your financial operations, anything from bookkeeping to fractional CFO services, then feel free to check out Kashmir Financial. I have left a link down below for you to learn more about them, and you can also schedule a free consultation call. So as I was saying, working on my mental game has had the biggest impact on how I play the game now. I've started to approach the round with a whole new outlook, and that involves visualizing every shot and also having full commitment when I'm going to be making that shot. And how I shaped this new way of thinking was by reading a couple of books, and it was a book by Dr. Bob Rotella, The Unstoppable Golfer, and then also Winning Golf by Dr. Saul Miller. So unfortunately, my library didn't have a lot of books on golf psychology, but after reading those two books, I was convinced that reading some golf psychology books can definitely help. And I ended up going on Amazon and I purchased another book from Dr. Bob Rotella. It's called Golf is Not a Game of Perfect. And I've seen this book on numerous lists of top golf books that you need to read. And so I would highly recommend you guys go to your library, go read a golf psychology book, because it can truly change how you look at the game of golf. So from reading those books, the main insights that I gathered was the importance of visualizing your shots, having full commitment and confidence when approaching those shots. But there's so much information packed in those kinds of books. You might receive some other insights, and yeah, I'd highly recommend that you guys read these books, and it can help unlock a new aspect of the game. Now, this might not be totally necessary, but for me personally, this has helped unlock a whole new set of confidence when I'm playing golf. And that was getting fit for my golf clubs. So for instance, the driver was a club that I was usually scared to hit off of the tee, because for me, I did not know which way it was going to go. Sometimes I would hook the ball left if I overswung, but then I would dial it back and try and ease up on my swing, and then I would slice it off to the right. So every time I set up to the tee, no clue where it was going until I got fit for my driver. So after the fitting, I came out with a driver that I knew that it was very hard for me to miss on the left side. If anything, it was going to be off to the right, but that is okay because mentally I knew that the left side was pretty much out of play, and that frees me up so much. I don't have to have any guesswork of where the ball is going to be going, and I can swing a more committed swing. And if you haven't seen that fitting video, I would definitely recommend checking that out with Tim. I'm also going to be seeing him at the end of the month working on my irons. So yeah, definitely go get your clubs fit. It has helped me a lot, and it has helped me with my confidence when I'm on the tee. But one of the ways that I have been getting more committed in my shots is actually loving the shot that I'm hitting and embracing that challenge. So for instance, there was an example where there was this hole, there was this gully that you could either lay up and hit it up to 230 yards, so that would be my hybrid, or you could go over the gully, but you would need to carry it over 250 yards, so I would need my driver. Before, I would usually approach this hole and I would say, I'm laying up, I'm playing it safe. There is a chance that I could miss-hit it, and it's not going to get over, and I'm just going to get a ball into the hazard. Even though I know that I can carry the ball most times over 250 yards, it's just that small doubt creeps in, and it just makes you want to play it safe. But that negative self-talk is something that you need to try to remove from your game. You need to go up to the tee and think, I can hit this driver over this gully. It's going to be an easy carry. And as a matter of fact, I actually do have more confidence in my driver now than my hybrid. So it was really an easy decision for me. You know, you just have to tell yourself that you can do it. And like I said, maybe it does help if you get fit for your clubs. And that's why I have more confidence in my driver than my hybrid. But irregardless, I still have that confidence in my driver. I know that it can launch the ball into the air. A carry should not be the problem. I just have to make a fully committed swing to it. And you know, I did just what I intended to do. I must have crushed the ball like 280 yards because I had a 30-yard pitch in. But yeah, that is the importance of being fully committed and having confidence on the tee. And now on the flip side, I'll provide an example of when, you know, I wasn't fully committed to a shot. So I was in between an 8 and a 9 iron, and I thought to myself, I'm just gonna swing a smooth 8 iron. However, midway through my swing, I thought, you know, I'm gonna still overhit this even with a smooth swing. And so I kind of slightly stuttered a bit. And actually, as a matter of fact, I chunked the ball. The ball ended up going nowhere. So yeah, that's why you can see, have to be fully committed to your shot, because I think that if you fully commit to a incorrect shot selection, I think you'll still get better results than if you make the correct decision, but you don't fully commit to it. So part of having good commitment to your shots is having faith and confidence in your equipment. But I also think another aspect is knowing your exact distance. And so I recently got this rangefinder. This one is the Cobalt Q6 Slope. I'll make a review on this later on. I think though, it doesn't matter necessarily what rangefinder that you do get. I think that having an exact distance is better than having an approximate value from just looking at the GPS value on your phone, because having that exact distance will let you dial in whatever club that you're going to pick. And it worked out for me. I ended up getting a hole-in-one. I hit a nice 190-yard high fade 5 iron, 1 bounce into the hole, absolutely teed up just as I expected. Actually, no, I think that was kind of lucky. But you know, knowing that distance, I knew that if I make a fully committed 5 iron, then you know, I'd hopefully get a good result. And it turned out it did. But yeah, just knowing your exact distance will help you. It won't hinder you. So another game changer for me has been visualizing my shots. So there was a dogleg left par 4 where you could either lay up 150 yards, leaving 180 or so yards into the green, or you could cut it over the trees and you'd be left with about 50 yards in. So I decided I'm going over the trees. I knew from my driver fitting that I'm capable of hitting a drive with an apex of 100 feet. And so I knew that I could get it easily over these trees. So I just did that. I visualized that shot, climbing over the trees, landing on the other side in the fairway, and I executed just as I pictured it. I think visualizing your shots is extremely handy in the short game because that's where you get the most creative. And recently I had this approach shot that missed the green to the right, and it was going to be a tricky up and down because I needed to get it over the bunker. And before I would think, oh my God, I missed the green and I'm gonna have such a difficult shot. But my new way of thinking, I reframed it and to think, you know, this is a challenging shot, but I have to embrace that challenge. And, you know, this is going to be a great opportunity for people to see how great my short game has improved. I walked up to the ball and I assessed the lie, and I was actually quite happy because the ball was sitting up quite nicely. I knew that I would be able to hit more of a lob style shot. I visualized hitting down on the ball and the ball just launching up high and soft. And you know, I like to visualize the ball launching up off of the face, because if I don't, I feel like I'm trying to scoop the ball, and you know, that's just gonna lead to a ball that's going to thin right on the other side of the green. You know, I need to visualize hitting a nice high soft shot, and it did just that. And I left myself with a nice 3-footer and I saved par. Those are just some examples, but you know, working on your mental game has greatly improved how I play the game of golf, and I haven't done anything really different technically wise. And I think that has given me a great sense of confidence where, you know, you don't have to have the perfect swing to improve. I'm not saying don't work on your swing, because working on your swing definitely is important, but I think there is a time and place, and that place is not on the golf course, because you don't want to be thinking about hitting the right positions. You know, you're definitely going to overthink your swing and you might not get the best results. It's better to just embrace what you have, be more athletic, and I think that is going to lead to some better results. Because I think our body is a lot smarter than we give ourselves credit to. I remember watching this video, Bubby Golf from Good Good, having a lesson with Scott Fawcett, and Scott talking to Bubby about his alignment. I think Bubby didn't even realize, but he was aimed off to the right, but he was still hitting shots that ended up straight. And that's because his body was automatically just adjusting for his poor alignment. And so that's why I think, if you're visualizing the shot that you want, your body is going to automatically put you into places to best achieve that result. Also, a thing that has, I guess, freed me up mentally is being more easy on myself. Whereas if I don't have the perfect swing that I worked on in the driving range, if it doesn't come out when I'm playing, that doesn't mean that I'm not making any more progress or that what I worked on in the driving range is a waste. Because I think what you're working on will slowly creep into your swing over time. And just because in that one swing that you reverted back to an old habit doesn't mean that your new swing isn't still there. I think pieces will come gradually, more natural, and it just has to be ingrained. And just to be easier on yourself and not give yourself such a hard time that your swing wasn't perfect in that moment. I also want to touch on the last update video because I set a goal for myself. I wanted to be an 18 handicap overall. I didn't reach that goal, and I think that setting a score-based goal like that actually did more harm than good. Now, obviously I didn't have much time to play as I would have liked. I played 5 rounds since this update video. 3 of the rounds was tournament based. It was the Vancouver Open. That in itself though, I'm very happy that I did make the cut and I was able to play the last day. I wasn't able to play the best of my abilities. I think just, playing with people similar skill or slightly even better, I kind of just felt that pressure. I didn't perform as good as I would have liked on the last day. And then so my other 2 recreational rounds. So the 4th round, I knew that a score with an 18.5 differential was coming off of the scorecard soon, so I needed to get a good round this time. And I think that added pressure did not do any good because I actually ended up with a 25 differential that round. And then the round after, so the 5th round, I played. I had no pressure on myself because, that score already rolled off. And I actually ended up replacing it with an 18.4. So that's why my handicap stayed relatively the same, 20.4. Just because I didn't achieve that goal of an 18 handicap doesn't mean that I didn't improve my game. And I can't remember if I touched on it in a Project 50 recap or a different Road to Scratch update, but I didn't even take my own advice about setting goals and not setting goals with an outcome based, but rather setting goals with a processed in mind. Because if you set a goal with a specific output and you don't reach it, then you're gonna think of yourself as a failure. So I didn't get that 18 handicap, I'm a failure. But if I would have set the goal as, practicing 2-3 times a week or something more process based, if I did practice 2-3 times a week, I would have succeeded in my goal. And, with all that extra practice, I would have in theory improved my game. And so, that 18 handicap would have just come naturally. And so I think this is a good transition to talk about some of my upcoming goals for the rest of the year. And so with the weather, starting to turn rather rainy, and also is becoming a very busy time, October and November for my work, I won't have as much time to actually play rounds. But that doesn't mean I'm still not going to work on my golf game. I'll still try and play as much as I can, but definitely is going to shift more into practicing at the driving range and then also working on my strength and mobility and trying to get more fit this off season to set myself up better for the next season coming up. And so yeah, I'm still going to be practicing, and one aspect that I am going to be working on, and I know I say this every update video, but it's my short game. And I ended up purchasing Dan Grieve's book, The 3 Releases. And the reason why I ended up doing that was because I've learned so much from him just from his free resources that he offers online. But I know it doesn't cover everything. And, I've kind of taken pieces from him and other instructors. And when I get to the ball around the green, sometimes I don't really know what I'm doing. That's an instance where I talked on earlier in this video where, you have to have full commitment in your shots. You can't have any hesitation. And so I'm thinking that I'm going to fully commit to what Dan says. I'm gonna learn everything that he says. I'm going to apply it because I'm thinking, you know, I've learned so much from him already. Why not just learn the rest of him, learn his way of playing the short game and fully commit to that kind of style? And because I think this goes with the whole theme of this video is, you know, fully committed shots, I think is one of the most important aspects of the game. So another thing that I want to work on is strength and mobility. I found that when I was golfing a lot more, I didn't have as much time to go to the gym just due to my limited schedule, but just because I was golfing a lot more, I noticed that my forearms were getting more tight and I was also experiencing elbow pain. So I ended up going to physio, getting that all sorted out, and getting some forearm specific exercises, just because if I don't have time to go to the gym, at least then I can work on specific forearm exercises, because I feel like when you're not working out, you know, your smaller muscles are more prone to kind of getting tight and can definitely affect you in ways that you didn't think could affect you. Another thing that has been bothering me is my lower back and my hip, just from sitting so much from work. So yeah, I'm also working on that and wanting to work on strength and mobility so that doesn't become a problem, because you know, hip mobility is very important in golf. So working on my strength and mobility is very important for injury prevention, but it will also help me get more power, help me with swing speed, because, you know, more swing speed equals farther distance, and who doesn't love that? But going hand in hand with the strength and mobility is I want to bulk up a bit more. I would like to see myself at 165 pounds by next March or April, but I'm not gonna make that my goal. I learned my lesson. Instead, I'm gonna make my goal tracking my calories every single day. And just because, you know, tracking my calories will keep me more accountable, making sure that I'm eating enough so that way I can gain weight. And what I did notice was in this past month that I have been tracking my calories, I have increased my weight from 144 to 147 pounds. So, you know, if I stay on track with that kind of progress, then, you know, 165 seems pretty realistic. And so that's why I'm setting my goal more process-based instead of an outcome-based, just like the example with the handicap goal. So that is my update so far. Hopefully you have enjoyed coming along on this journey with me. There's definitely some more exciting videos on the way. As I mentioned earlier, I am going to be seeing Tim at the end of this month. We're going to be working on my irons. And this video is actually quite exciting because, you know, I'm not going to be buying brand new irons, which I think would be kind of pretty easy, right, to get better results. We're going to be working with some older irons and trying to get the best results out of that. I know it kind of sounds hypocritical since I got a brand new driver. But you know, not everything needs to be brand new to be giving you the best results. I think irons is one of those things where, you know, you don't necessarily need the newest and best equipment. And I'm excited to show just that, you know, we're gonna get some optimized results with some older equipment. And I'm very excited to be able to show that video to you guys. Anyways though, if you enjoyed this video, smash the like button, subscribe if you aren't already, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. Peace.